EQ is emotional intelligence, and a quick definition would be our ability to navigate through our emotions so that we can best serve ourselves and our intentions and don't get hijacked into making decisions that we might regret later or slow us down or hinder us.
You can do it!
No, wait, there. That's what you have to do. You have to go through there. Wait, go.
We win!
I'm so crooked.
Watch, go over there.
Data really indicates that people who are able to recognize feelings in themselves and others, use emotions to motivate themselves towards a better end for both themselves and others, navigate their emotions, are really more successful in every area of life.
Every morning we open up with a senior panel discussion. It's in the gym. All the freshmen are in one section of the bleachers, and the freshmen are sitting down on the gym floor in chairs. And seniors come up and share stories about life. Could be something about school, could be something about family life, could be about relationships, could be about sports, jobs, friends, something that they've experienced, that they've gone through, where they learned a significant lesson. And they always try to conclude with a hopeful message that whatever happens, there are always people around to help you and to support you, and don't give up, persevere, and things definitely get better in the future.
They were in an age, as many of yours were, where they were in Oklahoma, where, the thug life was real. So my dad was a leader of a small gang, and my mom was like left hand. So they were really rebellious, and they were in the party scene. They were always partying. They never stopped. They they said they were in the euphoric stage of love because they loved each other, and then I happened. So they said my dad told me that when they had me, they fought more and more of what was going to happen because, my mom, she said they had to clean up, but my dad was the rebellious one and didn't want to. So as it happened, I was born and they were still partying. So at times they would leave me with one of their family members to go, and so they could party, and they would come back 3-4 days later just blasted, wasted. So my grandma and grandpa, they took me, and my mom and my dad started to fight more and more, and they got divorced. And so for the longest time they were fighting. I was just back and forth. They I guess they kind of did it out of spite because they just grew to hate each other. And so since I didn't know what was going on, I kind of blamed myself, because when my dad got custody, my mom no longer came and saw me, and I blamed myself. So for years I grew detached, and even though I lived with my grandparents because my dad was off still partying, I lived with them, and they reassured they loved me. I knew it, but it really didn't register. I wanted their love, but it wasn't the same as a mother and father's love. So I walked around detached, and I learned how to mask it because my parents are pastors, and I'm sure as many of yours, they can fight 1 minute, and somebody knocks on the door, they turn around, open the door, "Hey, how are you? Come on in," and they put on a happy face, which happened a lot because my dad would always call him in trouble, and they'd yell at him on the phone, and we'd drive over, and you'd be in a police station, and they're like, "Hey, how are you? We'd like to, get my son out of jail." So for years, even into high school, I blamed myself. I didn't know, really how to cope, so I was just kind of grew indifferent to everything. I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad, I just grew emotionless. So, gosh, I'm crying. So, I had friends, but it really, I felt like my life really didn't have purpose. I didn't know what to do. So I tried to follow the group. I didn't do anything bad like drugs or anything, but still, I was just going through the motions, and I really didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So I didn't know what to do. And so just years passed, and I'm working through it. But I talked with my dad. He's really cleaned up. He is going to college now. But he sat down with me for like 4 or 5 solid hours. We just talked about why he did what he did, and yeah, we're working things out. So I hope we get better.
With emotional intelligence, since it started 5 years ago, I've noticed that kids have become more able to understand, oh, you can be intelligent emotionally as well as intellectually. What does that mean? Maybe they don't always understand what that means, but they're in the ballpark of understanding that there is something that they need to think about other than just intellectual. And some kids who are struggling with intellectual intelligence are actually very emotionally intelligent and don't know it. So it's our job as adults, number one, to know ourselves better, and number two is to be able to help the people around us to understand themselves better. And it's give and take. Sometimes students will teach staff and adults things that they didn't know.
Good morning, everybody. My story began 2 years ago when I got here. My family decided to move here to Taos. As you can notice, my first language is not English. My first language is Spanish. And I still struggling a little bit because I just have 2 years learning. And my first day here was hard. It was really hard. I was really nervous. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know English like just the colors and stuff like that. I didn't know teachers, like nobody. Everything was strange for me. And it was hard because in Mexico, always I tried to be an active student. I really wanted to be in everything and participate. And then when I got here, I didn't can do much because it was hard. My Spanish is my first language, and the English, it didn't help me because it was hard for me. So sophomore was hard because everything was totally new. The school, I had to new people, and I had to leave things behind in Mexico. So in junior year, it was kind of easier because I started to learn, I started to understand, and everybody has been really nice to me, and then I'm so grateful with everybody. And yeah, this year I'm trying to challenge myself a little bit more. The first 2 years I was in ESL program. Now I decided to get out of the program, which was a really good base for me. But I really wanted to challenge because this is my last year here in the high school. So I have to be prepared for college. So I am in humanities with Mr. Richard and some other classes that will help me more. So I really, really encourage you guys to challenge yourself, because if you trust in yourself, you will do it.
Okay, carry with us the stories, and at the same time, begin to transfer that to positive energy. I can look at this person and say, thank you for being here. I don't really know you that well, but today, I'm going to try to. I can look at this person and say, hi. I don't know you that well. I know life can be hard. Let's try to be friends. Okay, so this is our goal for our final day. Okay, interact with each other, lift each other up, so that when the tough stuff happens, we've got a nice support group to help us out.
it's easy not to see the value in EQ and in what we're talking about. And I can understand that because, hey, you're just getting pulled out of your class. You're not really sure what's going on. You're just kind of doing your regular school day thing. But we're doing this for a reason because there's a lot of valuable stuff that we want to share with the freshmen.
Some people just thought it was no use to do it. I did think that, but then because a lot of people were just everything's gonna go back in 2 weeks the way it was. No one's gonna actually talk to each other anymore, and everyone's gonna go back to their groups like they said. One of them was with the hula hoop, and we all had to put 2 fingers on the hula hoop and lift it up together, and sometimes the kids would lift it up faster than the other one.
The proof was in the pudding about this EQ program, because over the years that we've been doing it, in fact, bullying has decreased. There's less hostility between groups and between students. So, and just through a simple 3 days, that much can help. The more we teach the students about their own emotions and those of others, the better off we'll all be.
It was unclear then, but the research again is indicating that learning these skills at a young age is prevention for mental illness. It really impacts your mental health and your decision making and your relationship health for your whole life. So it seems crazy when we have kids in school so many hours a day that if these are skills that can be taught, that they should be taught with the same importance and the same rigor as we teach math and reading and history and science, all those other things that are a bit more concerned with the outer world. And this is a bit more concerned with the inner world. And I really think a human task is to integrate those two so that our inner life and our outer life are integrated, they're aligned.
After not just me, but us seniors shared our stories, when we got to the classroom and we were doing the emotion check-on with the emotion wheel, they wanted to share their own personal story, kind of like how we did, and they got pretty deep. The conversations we had, there were some tears shed by me. There were some deep conversations. They just wanted to feel like I said, there was even requests to have EQ even longer and to have more bonding time, not just in that morning. It was just crazy. The group we have is just great. One of these one wish in a star, it says on a star, it says, I made a new friend today. That totally just got me so sad. I was that was our job today, to make sure they make me friends, and there was one on there and I was oh my god, we did it.
I've seen a lot of seniors who had a great first day and really got really excited about that, and maybe the second day wasn't as progressive. But we went from having no freshmen talk in the first day to having 2 in the second. And that frustrated the seniors because it was only 2, but that was 2 more than the first day. And I think it's been really good for those kids that can get forward.
You did have some on their phone in the back that I gave them a look, put that away. After lunch, I don't know, maybe I was just out of it, but the kids were not really into the games that we played. At least that's what I saw. It was kind of tough for me to get them in line, and I try being reserved about it, but if I need to, I will be harsh and get them in line, and I don't want to do that. I'm close to doing that. I'm trying to lay low and make Adam and Deanna be more in charge, because I'm about to the point that I'm hey, this is what we're doing, you need to stop. And it's not even that they're rowdy, it's just they're apathetic.
An organization in California called 6 Seconds, because at that time they believed it took 6 seconds for the neuropeptides, the chemicals of an emotion, to flood your body. It's actually faster than that, but at the time they thought it was 6 seconds. So you see, if you could reinterpret a situation or give yourself a pause so that your body didn't become flooded with the emotions of anger because somebody bumps you in the hall, or fear because you hear something scary, that you would save your body all that stress, all that cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and you'd save all your friends the outcome of those neuropeptides.
There's going to be some tough times, but just get past it and move on.
please, just have respect and don't judge or don't be quick to jump to conclusions. Just please, just be aware of what you say, because what you say can have a lot of impact on people.
Well, we just finished up with our EQ retreat a little earlier last week, and it was another success. We learn every time. We know how to improve it, or we have suggestions about how to improve it. But we always get comments like this from freshmen. They do a review of the event, and they always come back with comments like, school should be like this every day, or there's one right here I just got done reading. I really wish it was for more than just freshmen, is how this student closed off. And he or she started out by saying that I was just expecting something to pass the time, get out of my regular classes, and now I see why this is so important. And after going through it all, I wish it was for more than just freshmen. So that's good evidence that it's working, that the younger students are understanding the need to interact with each other and make some new friends and not be so judgmental, and try to reach out and accept others for who they are. The real growth takes place with the seniors, because they go in with, I think, very high expectations, very lofty ideals that the freshmen will be eager to learn and participate, and they figure out pretty quickly that they have to motivate and understand and be consistent with the freshmen if the message is going to get across. So there was some frustration among the seniors, especially on the second day, that maybe the freshmen weren't just hopping on board. And I think that's a really, really good life lesson, that when you undertake something really significant and meaningful, and you're trying to shape or steer how an entire group of people think and how they approach life and approach others, you're going against how the basic society functions and operates. And it's not going to happen immediately, especially in 2 days or 3 days. But by being consistent and being the message that they would like the freshmen to emulate, then gradually there can be a shift. So I think that was a really good life lesson for them, to stick to the noble causes, but don't expect everyone to come running and jump on board automatically just because you've put in your hard work and you have good intentions. It's going to take a lot of time, could be years, could be a lifetime, to really have a significant impact on people.